All right, and we are live. Awesome. Hello, light beings. It is so good to see you here. I just need to take a deep breath. I have an amazing human being with us today. Jordan went through the Navigating Your Spiritual Journey program with me, and he was really just an amazing superstar. And he really was an inspiration to everybody collectively in the group. Just so pure, just so authentic, and really an inspiration to all that he encounters. So, Jordan, would you introduce yourself? Just say
Yeah.
hi.
Hi there. Glad to be with you all. So grateful to have been through this program. Haley, thank you for this. And even thank you for doing this live stream on the spot thing that is helping me step into yet another place that is a little less comfortable. So thank you.
Yeah, well, it's all about, in the healthiest of ways, it's all about discomfort because that's where growth is. So, in
Correct.
the healthiest of ways. So, how was your experience in working with me and being a part of NYSJ?
In short, amazing. I mean, I can really sum it up in one word, amazing. To expand on that a little bit, I'm grateful as a trauma informed coach. I'm grateful that I have this background of taking responsibility, like 100% responsibility for myself. There was a whole path of, yes, all of this horrible stuff happened in my childhood. And for a lot of my adulthood, I was a victim to that. But once I started being able to take 100% responsibility for myself, the teacher, you, appeared because the student was ready. And for me, because I need to hear things a few different ways for it to really settle in, the way that you work in this program was perfect for me. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad that it worked for you. And I'm glad that my language worked for you because Jordan knows my English isn't very good and I make up my own words. So Jordan is special just in the fact that he could understand me. So, what changed massively in your life since working with me?
I think one of the key things that you really dive into, I call belief systems, you call rules. And to have both of those languages with me really helped me to see sometimes a belief system like, I don't believe that. But when you put it in, well, you have this rule here. And I'm like, I do have that rule. And if I put it in my language, I'm like, oh, I do have that belief system. So really, I mean, yes, thank you for your language. And I love that you make up your own words because it makes it fun. And so, yeah, it really being able to take in your language and help me really see these core belief systems that I had blinders on, right? And so that I think that was one of the most helpful things because I was like, oh, well, what if I didn't believe that? And your way of reframing is just beautiful. So thank you for that.
Yeah, wouldn't you say that those are like legitimate lifelong skills that everybody should have? Like being able to take it a look, because it is true. Like sometimes calling it a belief, it's like, wait, I don't believe that, but it is a rule that we have, and we don't realize how much our rules are also limiting us. And reframing, it's essential. It's choosing the truth that you wish to live and see, because we're creating anyway. We're already believing in something anyway. So it's like, why not choose? Right? Like, as you've heard me say, if I find out later that I'm cosmically wrong, I'll laugh at myself later, but I know that it's working. And obviously it worked for you too, because of what you just described. Um, Before choosing to work with me, before jumping into navigating your spiritual journey, what was your biggest hesitation?
Oh, great hard question. My biggest hesitation was my history of not finishing things. Like that was really my biggest hesitation. And there was some hesitation around the investment. And I also believe that the right people come along at the right time. And it just happened to be from a moment in my life where I'm like, Spirit, I need some help here. And then you appeared, right? And I just went, really? Okay, let's do this. And I just trusted that what I asked for was coming into me. And so really it was my biggest hesitation was just my history of not following through. And you just your being, it 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 what's the right way to say this? It lit a fire in me, or maybe it stoked a fire I had in me that I thought was gone.
Yes. Yes. Stoked a fire in you because you did. You already possessed it. And you actually did. You actually did. You showed up for every single live Q&A, mostly because life happens, right? But you showed up for pretty much every single live Q&A, every single motivational workshop. You did finish. It did happen. So that's awesome. That's awesome. You actually just answered, how do you feel about it? So you're into your empowerment, your self-empowerment and your communication really upgraded while you were here. So can you share a little bit about where you were before you started navigating your spiritual journey and where you are now with that?
Yeah, you bet. I didn't realize that I had this belief system, this rule inside of me that you can't talk back to your elders. Like that was super, super, super ingrained in me. And you really helped me reframe that as it's not about talking back to your elders, it's about standing up for what you believe in. And my history of being direct Jordan, was rubbing up against my permission to have my own opinion. And so through the work that we were doing, it helped me soften and be able to have my opinion without the rub. Like really be able to talk to my elders and be like, thank you for where you are. And this is where I sit. And so just that shifted me. Like it shifted me with every single person I talked to. I didn't realize how deep and how close that had in my throat chakra. Like I didn't even realize the depths of the roots that, that's childhood stuff, right? So really that empowered me in a way that still has ripples. Like it's put me on fire to actually not be afraid to stand up in public and speak anymore for fear of ruffling somebody else's feathers. It's like, wait a second, I get my opinion, and if you don't agree with it, that's okay too.
Yes. And also, I don't think there's anything wrong with ruffling feathers. I really don't. I really don't. That's great. And isn't that, wouldn't you say that's honestly really emotionally freeing? Like you have this whole new level of emotional freedom because not only are you not taking things so personally anymore, but also you can effortlessly and healthily convey what you want to say that's on your heart while still being neutral and respectful towards another.
I'm glad you said that. You're absolutely right. There's been this belief in me. I'm a dude with a big heart. I can't help that. And that's where a lot of my difference comes in. Like, I've been programmed that if you come from a place of love, if you come from a place of kindness, if you come from a place of compassion, that you're weak. And I really believe that when we can come from a place of love and kindness and compassion, it's because we've evolved, right? So really, the work I've done with you has really allowed me to step into my heart space, understanding that I am moving from a higher vibration, and I am no longer going to be afraid to speak from a space of love. Even when there's so much hate and anger going on in the world, I still get to come from a place of love because I understand that shame and anger are such a low vibration that it's almost my responsibility to not sync myself to that vibration, to continue to come from my heart space, my space of love. And so thank you. Thank you for that permission. I mean, you've just been such a great mentor of every time you show up with this beautiful energy of love, and it's contagious.
Oh, thank you, Jordan. And I was actually just gonna say, like, listening to you now, I was like a pirate listening to a siren, right? I'm like, he's so inspirational. I love it. I love it. The way that you can hold space, because you held space for everybody in the group. You
Mm.
really did. And you were an inspiration to everybody in the group. You know, people are like, Jordan said this and Jordan posted that. And it's like, really, you were absolutely remarkable in NYSJ. So, what big healings and shifts did you receive as a result of working with me?
Mm. Great question. What big healings and shifts? So I think the empowerment I really got around just being able to be that guy that comes from that space of love and not associating that with being weak. Like, that was huge. Being able to say, to have an opinion, and it being okay that not everybody agrees with my opinion. Like, thank you, right? Thank you for not agreeing with me. Okay. Like, okay. And before, I was afraid to have an opinion because I might accidentally step on somebody's toes. Like, sorry I stepped on your toes, but okay. Like, it wasn't intentional. I get to be me. And I get to be me. That was really very powerful for me. Thank you.
Yeah, and speaking to the stepping on toes, because you've worked with me, you realize that you're actually not stepping on anybody's toes. People are stepping on their own toes and blaming you, right? Because nobody can make you feel or do anything. And if you're honestly coming from a space of authenticity and love and actually even acceptance for all of humanity in every shape, way, and form, then you're not stepping on their toes because they chose to get triggered, which is most people aren't willing to have or face that conversation. But man, if you're working with me, we're having that conversation. But you
And
didn't step on their toes.
there is the
Good.
beauty of your reframe. Like right there, spot on. You're absolutely right. I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. They're stepping on themselves, right?
Yeah.
If they can't be open to other people's opinion without hate, they are stepping on their own toes. Thank you for that reframe right here.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Was there something that you never thought you'd move past that we actually did shift?
mm. We did some deep work around like pre-verbal childhood stuff, and some pain that I had from a surgery as a pre-verbal child, and it really highlighted for me these places that at 50 that that 9 month old went through that still had me locked down. What a freeing experience! Like, not only did I not think I would ever move past that, I didn't realize how deep those roots were in me, right?
Yeah.
Afraid to move forward because of pain. And now it's like, yeah, if we're going to level up, there might be a little pain, if we're going to go to the next whatever the weight circles, what are those things that you put on
Basically,
the bar, on the bars, the weights you put on the bars, right?
oh, God, I know this. I lift. I should know this. I lift. Barbells. Barbells.
Every time you put more weight on, it's going to hurt. Every time
Yeah.
we level up, there's a new devil, right? So
Yeah.
whatever it is, it's going to hurt. Okay. Okay. We can either be a victim of the pain or we can push through knowing this is the next, to get to the next level. It's just going to hurt for a minute. Okay, let's do
Yes.
this.
Yes. Because also, as you brilliantly said, we need to feel it to heal it. right? So if we don't address it, it's always going to be this unconscious thing that holds us back. And that's where self-sabotage comes in. If you're wondering like why you can't move past a certain level in your life, if you're wondering why you're doing everything and it's not working, I guarantee you it has to do with the roots or similar roots that Jordan just explained. So how was, because navigating your spiritual journey, it's built around a community. Like I am a firm believer that we should be with like-minded, purpose-driven people who are relatively going in the same direction that we are going. So, how was being a part of the community helpful to your growth and your experience?
Being part of the community gave me this idea that I'm not the only one. I think a lot of time in our pain and our trauma and whatever is holding us back, we feel like nobody else feels this way. I'm the only one that feels like this. Nobody's ever been through this. But in community, the things that are holding us back, the details may be a little different, but the foundation is really the same. And so to be with people who are like going through the same thing, it was like, okay, first of all, I'm not alone. And second of all, there's something in me when I'm feeling super down. If I can just reach out and help one other person feel better, it's almost like that helps me feel better at the same time. And
Yes.
so the beauty of the community, thank you, is all I can say. I'm missing it now that I'm not in that core community. I have a new one to get into, but and those folks will eventually come over into the one I am now. And
Yes.
I didn't realize how much I was going to miss everyone. Right? I'm glad that we all became not just friends, but soul friends on a path.
Yes, soul friends on a path. I love that. I love that. So then, last thing, if there was one thing that you could say to someone who is on the fence or wondering if it's worth their time, worth their energy to work with me, to be a part of navigating your spiritual journey, somebody who's on the fence, what would you like that someone to know?
Hmm. Oh, let's see. If someone was on the fence, I would say to them, if they're truly ready to be different, if they're truly ready to accept responsibility for their own change, this is a perfect place for that. This is a perfect place for that. Your skills and abilities, the community is really, thank you. I mean, it really is a whole package of healing. And then there's the after healing that is still there and continues to happen, right? So it's almost like a hospital stay and then rehab, right? It's just this beautiful dynamic of change in a loving space, not in a, oh, you're bad and you need to change and I'm the person that can do that. It's, if you're ready, I vibrate up here, and if you're ready to come up here and vibrate, let's do this.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Jordan. Thank you so much, Jordan. Thank you so much, Jordan. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, we are going to leave it there. Let me pull up my Facebook here. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. If you were interested, so I either have the Patreon going on, so you could get spiritual mentorship and coaching in a group community for literally only $7 a month, guys. If you don't do this, you're crazy. Forgive me, but you're crazy. Or you could work with me more one-to-one and hop on a Starlight call with me for working with me in NYSJ. And that's a more deep overhaul, something like exactly what Jordan just described and experienced. So if you've watched till the end, you should probably consider joining one of the two. But otherwise, I wish you guys all the best. Go out there, kick some ass, go out in the change and change the world. I love you guys. Bye.